What is up, everyone? We are back today. It is a nice, gorgeous day out here, and the birds are chirping, as you can hear. And I have an absolutely choice selection of a Reddit post to read for you guys today, and it is addressing a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about lately. A lot of the stuff, I talked about this with Naya on the channel lately, and then I've talked about it in a lot of videos. If you sort through my videos and look up natural, I have a few different videos about the feeling of naturalness and how important that is to develop, as opposed to those very charged emotional states, which, to be honest, the whole feeling is the secret thing, the whole way that people talk about the law of attraction traditionally, I feel like is connotated in that way, that there's this crazy state you need to be in, feeling from the end of the wish fulfilled, getting charged up with emotion, and really that's not the truth. In fact, the less emotional that you feel, I would argue, the more easy it is that you're going to be able to bring that thing into your life. And I'm saying this from experience as well. I mean, think about the things that you get in your life. Think about the things that have come into your life. They've just unfolded naturally, whether it was certain friendships, certain opportunities, certain financial situations, a house maybe. It could be anything, right? Were you in this state of, oh, like, yes, I'm gonna have it like supercharged with emotion? Or were you kind of just like, yeah, like it's almost on the verge of being so normal and natural that it's already a foregone conclusion that, so anyways, I'm going to read this post, and now we're going to go into, I'll add a little bit of tidbits here and there on what I think is the most important elements of what is being described here, and I will go in and give my opinions and commentary on what's being discussed here. So the post is called "The Key to Manifesting Successfully is the Opposite of What You've Been Taught." So we've been sold a lie by the law of attraction community that we need to be on a constant high vibration or feeling excited constantly to manifest. The opposite is in fact true. It's making your desire as normal and as ordinary as possible that makes it arrive. Every single time I've thought as if I've already had it, it manifested extremely fast. For example, I wanted a camera and I wanted it for free. I yearned for it for months. Of course, nothing happened. I was yearning for it. You can't yearn for something you already have. Then I stopped myself and began to think as if I already had the camera. I did one sat session where I felt myself feeling the camera on my couch. Then I thought about how it was already in my closet upstairs. I made it as ordinary as possible, and guess what? The very next day, someone offered to buy it for me. It's now sitting in my closet exactly where I imagined it and felt it being. I made it as boring as possible, and it arrived. It's a state of relief and contentment you need to reach. And it's pretty easy once you master it. Want an SP? Simply just think and feel as if they're already texting you, that they already told you they loved you 2 weeks ago or weeks ago, that it's normal to have them in your life, calling you all the time, spoiling you. Want wealth? You've already got the private bank account with your millions sat in it. It's normal for you to have copious amounts of money to spend on shopping sprees, properties, and luxury vacations. It just is. You already have it. When you think of it, think about the fact that you've already got your private bank account, and you can open the app on your phone or tab in your browser anytime to view the amount in there. You've already got the portfolio of properties. You've already got the monthly interest coming through that pays for everything. You've already got the supercars in your garage. It's normal to you, and this is how it aligns to your reality. By constantly associating it with the excitement and anticipation, that is what keeps it separate from you. And this is just so true. I mean, just think about it. Think about that, oh man. I mean, I could go into a personal story right now, but I was out swing dancing the other night, and I was with a buddy of mine, and he's going out and he's been doing the swing dancing thing for a while, so he's actually getting pretty good at it. But there were these girls there, and they were cool and stuff or whatever, but my friend was all like, oh my gosh, like getting so excited about these girls. He's like, they're so hot, That's like this energy is like, they're so hot, right? And, you see guys get like this all the time about girls, right? And sometimes, it could be about anything. But using this example, this was the situation. I was like, yeah, I mean, like, they're all right, dude. Like, I mean, they're not all, and honestly, like, I didn't think they were anything that crazy, that special, or that gorgeous, like the way that he was admiring them. So, it's just funny because, you see this happen all the time. And for me, I've always noticed that when things happen organically, when there's an organic chemistry that happens, it happens from that more chilled back, laid back type of vibe, and people can sense it immediately. It doesn't just go for romantic relationships, but anytime that anybody is just super wide-eyed, and it could be an opportunity, it could be at meeting somebody, you can sense it energetically. It's this very intense energy that is a bit off-putting, because it's really communicating that it is not normal for you. It is not a natural thing for you to experience. And so if you're asking a girl to dance, to swing dance with you, and you're just chomping at the bit to get her dancing with you, she can feel it. And she's going to be a little bit more reserved, a little bit more withheld than if you just go up naturally, like it's the most natural thing in the world, and start dancing with her. Let the conversation flow organically, let it flow naturally. Of course, there's all kinds of things that go into romance, communication, dating, and techniques for improving your communication. But the foundational element of this is first being in control of your emotions. I mean, if you are flip-flopping up and down, let's say that the girl gives you a dirty look, and then you go into, or she says something that maybe wasn't the most flattering, or that you find offensive, and then you get your panties in a bunch or whatever, then, it should be one of those things where, yeah, there's some teasing going on, some back and forth. Even if somebody says something to you in a social environment like that, let's say you're out at a bar, you're going out dancing, like I said, swing dancing, and she says something, and then you kind of play it off and make a joke about it. And that reaction can only come when you are on an emotionally stable wavelength. And this goes for friendships as well, it just goes for everything in life, all kinds of personal communication and interpersonal communication. And I'm going to continue reading the rest of the post here, but that just made me think of that situation from the other night. So, it is normal to you. This is how it aligns to your reality. By constantly associating with excitement and its separation, that's when you keep it separate from you. And that's what Vadim Zeland talks about as well in transurfing, reality transurfing. So, but when you think about it, how it's already a part of your everyday life, that's when the magic happens. Neville said to make your desire as natural as possible. What he meant was as ordinary and as boring as possible. It's already a part of your everyday routine and life. You align to the reality that feels most normal to you. If you keep associating your desire with it, with excitement and thrills, it remains a fantasy. You must normalize it as if you already have it. This is the Sabbath, the formula that works for me. So these are key details here that are being revealed by the person that posted this. Make it as natural and ordinary and boring as possible. Can you do that? Can you entertain the thoughts of this thing that you've been so attached to, right? Whether it's your SP, or whether it's that money, or whether it's that car. And can you just make it boring for yourself? Can you really just saturate your mind with it to the point where it becomes boring? And, I've had a physical experience of this, and I've mentioned this before on the channel, renting exotic cars. I rented this Lamborghini, drove it around, and it was just to the point where it was almost annoying driving this thing around. And since I've driven other supercars, other sports cars, but the Lamborghini in particular is the best example of this, because when you hop in that thing, it's so low to the ground, it's uncomfortable. To be honest, the inside of it looks almost a bit tacky. Everybody's looking at you. You feel as if you're overly concerned about running into something. And the entire experience is just like, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Of course, it is fun. I'm not going to deny it. Like, when you first put your foot on the gas and feels, it's scary how fast that thing goes. But again, that can be perceived as a negative as well. Every single positive in life that you want, whether it's that relationship, whether it's that money, Biggie says more money, more problems. And there's a lot of truth in that. Whether there's fame, it's a double-edged sword. And take it in that realistic way where it's like, look, Okay, yeah, but it's boring though. Imagine if you had that Lamborghini parked in your garage. Are you even gonna drive it? Most people that own Lamborghinis don't even drive them that much. Most people that are famous can't wait to get away from the public eye. Most people that are wealthy buy normal, boring clothes anyways. It's really funny. You always see the people that are trying to look wealthy, trying to portray that image, that don't actually have the money. They're the ones buying the super all Gucci'd out and all Louis Vuitton and this and that. And again, you can see examples of this everywhere. And I just want you guys to understand and paint that picture. What is that actually going to do for you anyways? Once you get that thing, it should be a normal thing. It should be a part of your life. You should have a self-concept that is in alignment with this thing being normal for you. And when you get all of those things in alignment, your heart and your mind is aligned with your desire, and it becomes normal and ordinary and boring, just like this post said, that's when you're getting in alignment with it. That's when you are bringing in that energy that is attracting that thing to yourself. And also in a way where you can sustain it. That's another key point too, is that this can work. You can get super charged up, super into something. It could be a girl, it could be a job, it could be this or that, and it's like you get it, you feel those heightened emotions, that super high, and then a lot of the time it falls away. The relationship ends, this or that ends. These super heightened high and low emotions are precursors to that thing being removed from your life. And I promise you can see it time and time again. And that has been my experience. That has been what I've observed in others' lives. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll see it. You'll start to notice it. You'll start noticing things. Start noticing when you see your friends getting having such an emotional high, and then also having such an emotional low. And notice how those things that is in regard to are not sustained in their lives. But the friends that are normal about the thing, the friends that are normal about whatever it might be, they're able to sustain that result in their life. So, you align to the reality that feels most normal to you. You align to the reality that feels most normal to you. That is a key sentence right there. If you keep associating your desire with excitement and thrills, it remains a fantasy. It's such a good poignant way of pointing this out. You must normalize it as if you already have it. That is the Sabbath. The formula that works for me: 1, SATs, repeating the scene over and over, about 5 to 10 seconds long, until I fall asleep, feeling all the heightened emotions of excitement right there and then, getting those excited feelings out of my system, making sure I go to the very end scene, not the how, but possessing the desire already, like the camera upstairs in my closet. 3, making it as normal as possible. Whenever I think of the desire, I think about how I already have it. It's already upstairs in my bedroom, for example, or it's already on my driveway. Or I already have the job, or I already have the bank account full of money. Normalizing it as much as you physically and possibly can. This does not mean continuing to feel that excitement, but being in a place of contentment and relief that you already possess it. Look at that. They're using all the words that I've used in these past videos: relief, contentment, normalizing it, natural, feeling it boring, ordinary, normalizing it in your body, allowing yourself to feel that relaxed state as you dwell upon it and think about it in the same way that you think about something as mundane as going out to drink a cup of coffee in the morning. Make it as boring and ordinary as possible. That's the key. Every single time I've done this, this has worked. Yeah. And there's a bunch of comments in here. This was a popular post, and for very, very good reason. So I'll read a couple comments and then I'll share one final story, personal story. I know you guys have been wanting more personal stories, so I'm gonna share that here. So, agreed, it may seem contradictory, but that's how a desire manifests. That's not to say you won't feel the initial excitement when you do get your desire, because in some cases you will, but in imagination, it has to feel natural to you. Naturalness is akin to it being ordinary and or boring. And somebody said, absolutely. It's more like a feeling of satisfaction rather than anxious excitement. That anxiety is almost always the worst culprit in all of this. When it no longer has a place in your routine, that's when things really take off. I'd say the best thing you can do to get to that point is continue finding ways to prove the power of the law to yourself. Don't be afraid to start small and slowly work up to the big stuff. It's worth it. One thing's for sure, you can't force the anxiety out of your reality. You have to train it out through discipline and determination. Be content no matter what. And that's a great philosophy right there. we were talking, when I talked to Naya the other day, that's what she was saying. And that's what Vadim Zeland teaches in Transurfing. The more that you can find that joy, that harmony in life, and that feeling of just things are just going well, and that feeling of I have the advantage, everything is working out for me. And I've got these affirmation tracks on the channel. You can pop them on, listen to them, that everything is working out in my favor. That's a great general way to just get on that baseline feeling, emotional feeling. Also doing breath work, stabilizing your nervous system, doing some of the SATs inductions that I posted on the channel recently. These are all great ways to tap into that relaxed state where you are now allowing those emotions, whatever those emotions are, you're getting relaxed, and you are stabilizing here in the middle, and you're not getting too far on either side of the pendulum that I always talk about on the channel. So, last comment I'll read and then I'll tell you my story. So when I remember I'd entered the world of manifestation through law of attraction, of course, to manifest an SP back, like many of us, it felt so awful because I thought I had to constantly feel good, positive, keep a high vibration. It burned me out until I found out about the law of assumption. People said the burnout is real. The high vibe feeling works for weeks on end. It was super disciplined. It did burn me out. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, obviously you want to, that's the thing. You don't want to suppress emotion. What you resist persists. If you have something that you really, really hate, you really can't stand it, if you notice, you tend to attract those situations. So if you really, really, really get triggered by people cheating in their relationships, by people being unfaithful, you're going to attract that into your life. Either you are going to cheat on your partner or your partner is going to cheat, because it's what your RAS is looking for, your reticular activation system. And what you focus on, that is manifestation. The more heightened of an emotion that you feel, and unfortunately, with negative things, it happens a lot. You think about these things, I hate it so much, you resist it so much, and it ends up showing up in your reality. Now, I'm not sure how to reconcile this with the message of this post, which is that the positive things you want to manifest, you want to dwell on, and it could be that that's why the knot technique works, because it's like you're resisting this thing. But generally speaking, the positive form of manifestation is what we're talking about. However, that is crucial to acknowledge that if you are resisting something, you get so triggered by something. Even when you're watching a TV show, you get so triggered by something. It's a sign that it's something that you need to take a look at, and something that you need to kind of unravel, and maybe going to therapy, or maybe talking to somebody about it, doing some introspection, some inner work there, some shadow work, whatever resonates with you, to try to figure out and get to the heart of, like, why is this thing bothering me so much? And it could be a past hurt, a past harm. It could be something in your family that happened. It could be this or that. But the whole thing is, like, if you resist something so much, you're thinking about it, you're sending energy to that thing. So anyways, guys, gonna wrap up with my story here. So I'll tell you this story, right? This is what happened last night, okay? We went out dancing, swing dancing, to the swing dancing place around here, and we were out there, and one of my friends, they kind of got in an argument. I was trying to kind of keep the peace between them, but we were going up, we were just having a good time dancing, talking to people and socializing and whatnot. And there was this one girl that I interacted with in particular, and she was wearing like this all denim outfit. And I told my buddy that she actually reminded me of this influencer who I actually had met before in LA. And it's funny because I went up, I was talking to her and stuff, and things were fine, but her friends ended up dragging her onto the dance floor while I was showing her the girl that she reminded me of. And it's just funny because I put it out there, and granted, again, I wasn't like super crazy about anything, super attached to any certain outcome at all, because to me, I'm honestly just going out, having a good time with my friends, and that's my only intention for the night. Also practicing dancing. I'm trying to learn how to dance. But I was just whatever, she got dragged away by her friends, it's all good, and I don't really care. It's like, yeah, like opportunity to talk to somebody. If they want to talk to me and get to know me better, that's cool, and if not, it's all good. It's all gravy either way, right? But the interesting thing that happened is I was so like just unattached to this situation that you could really say this was a manifestation where I almost took no action. You know, I talk a lot about, guys, you got to take action for your manifestation, and I did take action. So I want to go ahead and address that real quick. You know, I can give myself a little pat on the back that like what I do and what I talk about on this channel works, because I initially went up and struck up a conversation with it, right? But what ended up happening later is I was actually talking to this dude, because I was just socializing with people, and I was like talking to this dude about his hat, and he was telling me that his family, you know, has this clothing brand and they're from Oregon. And then we were talking about Oregon because I just visited Oregon with my girlfriend recently, and talking to him about what he's up to and stuff, and like doing out here in Arizona. And he's like a realtor and stuff. And while I'm talking to this guy, the girl's friend comes up. They both are walking by, and she comes up, taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, will you dance with her?" Pointing to the girl that I'm talking about, the girl that I talked to, the one that looks like the influencer. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, like, yeah, I mean, I'm down. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I've been practicing dance moves. I've been practicing this country swing. I'm down to give it a crack. Like, let's go. And so I grab her by the hand, lead her onto the dance floor, and we're dancing, man. And it's just funny. It's like a manifestation because, you know, like my buddy was like, oh, she's like the prettiest girl here. And I agreed with that sentiment. She had like a very, very distinguished features, but also her style, like she reminded me of like, you know, living in Southern California. She had like a little SoCal style going on. And so basically I danced with her. We had a great time on the dance floor. She didn't really know what she was doing, and it was clear that she had had a few drinks before then. But how funny is it that, you know, you put out the intention to something, you're super relaxed about it, super just whatever, and her friend literally approaches me and tells me to dance with her. I mean, it's something that it can happen, you know, and if you haven't had experiences like this before, you know, you can have them, but what you need to do is detach from the outcome. And you need to also, I mean, it helps also if you're socially graceful, if you're socially calibrated, and if you know, are dressing the part, looking the part. If you want to present yourself, you always want to present yourself in the best foot if you're looking to have success socially. There's so many variables that go into this, and I'd love to actually interview my buddy here and talk about communication skills and things of that nature as well, because, you know, as I've been mentioning lately on the channel, big fan of the book, The Courage to Be Disliked. And the premise of that book is that all problems in life are interpersonal relationship problems, and they can all be resolved by increasing your interpersonal relationship skills. So at the heart of this, at the heart of self-development, at the heart of improving yourself, working on your mindset, not only do you need to work on your own mindset, your own self-concept, but you also want to be improving yourself in other ways, improving yourself in ways that you can relate to other people, because people are always going to be a part of your life, no matter what you're doing, whether you're building a family, whether you're wanting to find a career opportunity, whether you're wanting to make friends, whether you're wanting to increase your opportunities, whatever they may be, and improve your life. Again, you know, you find that quote too, you're the product of the 5 people that you hang around the most with, right? So you want to be cultivating positive, healthy relationships with people in your life, positive friendships, positive relationships with good people, good, solid people that are not toxic, that are not the types of people that are going to be gossiping, engaging in destructive behavior, destructive habits. And that's a great way to just be around the right type of people, the right type of energy, people that are into self-development, self-improvement, people that want to level up and become the next version of themselves. And as I'm speaking right now, my buddy just walked out. I'm going to wrap this video up because I've been going on pretty long. But basically, anyways, elevating yourself will naturally happen by getting around those other people that are focused on the same stuff that you want to improve. And that's another reason why I'm thinking of getting this community going here, getting this course set up, so that we can have a group of people. We can talk about all the things that we're working on and different ways that we can start leveling up in our various aspects of life. But with that being said, guys, much love as always. Drop me a like, hit me with a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this, and hit me with a subscribe if you've not done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video.